Yes, yes, people. Of course, I'm back. It's Jacob on the one up top. Uh, I said I weren't going to give too much energy towards this stupid club that I need to support. But yeah, the result is I laugh when I say it. Tottenham 3, Liverpool 6. Oh man, before I go in, yeah. Like, share, subscribe, do all of that. I love everybody. It's Christmas and all that. It's my mum's birthday. I refuse to let this establishment take the smile off my face. Like it's not even a fake smile. I'm just saying it as it is. I'm being cutthroat today, man. Because if I thought I had enough, I wish I could get my kids on in hours because they could tell you exactly what I was thinking during the game. You know, Before I go into the game, I'll give you a little snapshot of what I think of Tottenham right now. I will always support them. I will always watch them. But again, my son sat there. He's 8 years old. Yeah. And we're watching the game. Shambles of defending. No direction. You know, Playground stuff. Ange thinks that we can just go toe to toe with the best team in the league, arguably in Europe, and let's just see what happens. That's basically the tactic of Tottenham. But my son literally sat there and said to me, "You know what, Dad? Like, I'm seriously considering packing it in with Tottenham. Like, I want to just go back to supporting the team that I used to support, and he used to support Barcelona because he liked Ronaldinho just like I did." And normally, as a dad, I'd just be like, "Nah, you can't do that, man." And this is what I was saying to him 2 weeks ago. But I looked at his little face, and I was just like, "You know what? Yeah, you do what you got to do. Do what you got to do, man. If you don't want to support Tottenham anymore, I ain't got a problem with that because partially it's just like it's an additional stress. If you want to, I said to him, if you want to go back to Barcelona, go and do it. I won't be happy with you if you ditch Tottenham and go and choose like a British team because he's got people in his class that he cusses out all the time because they go from Man City to Chelsea to Liverpool and all that, and he cusses them out. So I said, you can't be a hypocrite and do the same thing. But if you want to go back to Barcelona or you want to go Real Madrid or choose someone outside England, you crack on, man, because I don't want you to grow up and be stressed like I am. It's pointless. There's no point putting yourself through it, man. It's getting to the stage now where I'm not going to sit here and go, call for the manager out. I'm not going to do that because he's got his own philosophy. I'm not going to go too ham on the players. It's a collective, but the collective that is going to be the reason we're a problem as a club is at the top. Like I'm hearing noises that Ange is going to get backed, in January. Like, I'm not being funny, whether you like Ange or not. What's the point of backing somebody that his only tactic is we're going to outscore you? If we go and get better defenders, we go and get better attackers, the only thing that's going to happen is we're going to win a few more games. But we're not going to win games where you win titles or championships or cups because, he could have gone to Liverpool's squad. Liverpool have got a wicked squad. Yeah, they got a top squad. But if Arne Slot sent Liverpool out every week to just so we're going to score more goals than you, they won't be top of the league. If you look at the way Liverpool played today, they played and thought, we can smell blood here. Tottenham can't defend. They've got, a depleted defence. The midfield isn't great. We've got more energy than them because they've had the game in the midweek. We smell blood. But when you see Liverpool play Arsenal away at the Emirates, they were kind of like, we've got to take it easy. And if we get a point here, we can, reassure ourselves that we're still in this title race and we can still be top of the league and all that. And they got the result that they needed. They didn't go gung-ho in that. If Liverpool played today like they did, the way they did today against Arsenal that day, Arsenal would have picked them up and probably beat them. They would have scored more goals, but then so would Arsenal. But they knew what they needed to do. Arne Slot's been in the league for what? 4 months? 5 months? How has he understood what needs to happen with someone else's squad where Ange is, he's brought in Solanke, he's decided where he's going to play Kulusevski, he's brought in Maddison. He's brought in Brennan Johnson. And granted, Levy might have a word involved in it, but that's a lot of money. Solanke, Johnson and Maddison collectively, that's 150 million. Van der Ven, that's another 30 million. Romero wasn't brought in by him, but it was agreed. Look at Jed Spence, for instance. Like, we're all going on about Ange, but Jed Spence literally was left out in the dust for how long? He comes in and, he does well against arguably not only the best right winger in the Premier League at the moment, arguably the best ever. And Jed Spence had a wicked game against him. If we had a doggy today, I think Salah bangs a hat-trick. But this is a manager that was telling me Jed Spence isn't good enough. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, he's come in and Jed Spence arguably, not even arguably, from my perspective, as an all-rounded fullback, is our best fullback at the moment. But we've managed to establish that over 3 games. But the Tottenham fan base have been asking for this geezer to play since he joined. He was an absolute maestro at Nottingham Forest. And then all of a sudden, it's like, when we get injuries, he comes in and plays well. Even when he's played well in Europe and played well against Coventry. And you're still like, no, Pedro Porro. Pedro Porro. What is the point of having a right back that can't defend? What's the point? What's the point of having fullbacks that can't defend? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, for me, if we're going to play Pedro Porro, if we're going to play a doggy and these guys can't defend, just go 3 at the back. This is what my manager should be doing. As a manager, you should be saying, we've got fullbacks that are brilliant going forward, but they can't go back. All right, chuck another defender in then. But you won't chuck another defender in. No matter what centre midfield combination we do, it don't work. When we go up against any team, it feels like when we're going forward, we've got 12 men, but when we're going backwards, we've got 10. Why? Because we've got characters like Maddison, Brennan Johnson, Pedro Porro, that they just won't stick their foot in and they just get run ragged. So going forward, we're brilliant. It's like being kids in the playground. I remember being in the playground when I was 8 years old. And when my team's on the attack, I'm goal hanging. I want to score the goal. I want to be the hero at lunch break. But if someone tells me who wants to go and goal, who wants to go at the back, in my mind when I was 8 years old, the dummies, the little idiots went defence. If you got stuck in defence, it's like, everyone don't believe in you. But as you got older, you realise that the defenders are the most important ones, because if you don't concede a goal when the opposition bang 30 shots against you, but then the opposition concede an own goal, you ain't even had a shot and you've won the game. Why? Because you defended properly. So Ange thinks of it the other way. We can go the other way. I don't even know what the stats are. But I'm not saying that we had more shots than Liverpool. We had a fair amount of shots and we scored 3 goals. How is it that we're scoring 3 goals against the best defence in the Premier League, arguably the best team in Europe right now, which is a good thing, but we're conceding 6? It's just a joke, man. But again, I can go on. What goes on the pitch is embarrassing. Everything about Tottenham's embarrassing. I even look at football kits. You look at Tottenham's football kit this year. My son was like, I don't even want this year's kit. And I was like, why? He goes, because it looks similar to last year's. 8 years old and he's recognising stuff that I'm doing. I ain't bought a Tottenham kit for time. Why? Because it's effortless in the way that they try and market kits. It's effortless in the way that they try and make sure that everything is going on the grass. The only thing that goes well is what can go on to make sure that Daniel Levy makes money. Now, Daniel Levy ain't going to leave. He's not going to sit there and go, this ain't working. Because for him, it's working. He's making bare peas. He's making money. He's making dough. The guy is balling out. He's got yachts everywhere. I got a friend of mine that actually saw one of his yachts. I don't know where it was, in Devon somewhere. Big, massive. So if I'm Daniel Levy, I'm winning. Mate, if I'm Daniel Levy, I'm winning, man. Do you know what I mean? If I'm in my work right now, if I go to work on Thursday, or whatever day it is, I've got to go back to work here, and my manager gives me a pay rise of triples my wages, and I'm looking at it thinking, well, why are you giving me that? Yeah, don't worry about the fact that, don't worry about the team and what they're going on in the office. I'm just giving it to you because you're making me money in a dirty way. As far as I'm concerned, if I'm going home and my kids are nice, my mum's nice, my sisters are nice, every time I'm taking my friends out, all the boys and that, I'm just like spending peas and it don't matter. Do you think I'm bothered about my team in the office? Maybe. I'll be bothered about their mental health, or be bothered about how they're enjoying their life. But realistically, if I'm going home and the money that I'm taking home is looking after me and my family and generations to come, sorry, I don't care about anybody else. Especially when you're making, hundreds of millions of pounds. So I've just got to the point where I'm going to say it with chest. I said it in my last video. I don't see why I should give Tottenham the same energy that I used to. I'm just not doing it anymore. And I've sat there and said it to my son. He's listening. And, if I'm completely honest, if he's at an age where he can decide that if he doesn't want to support Tottenham, he ain't got to. Because, as long as you don't support another English team, I don't care. Crack on, man. I'd rather you be my age in 30 years' time and you ain't stressed. And if you are stressed, it's to do with your job, it's to do with your partner, it's to do with your financial situation. Not these bunch of idiots. And, I'm hoping that when he's 40, coming up to 40, that Daniel Levy ain't there anymore. Because if he's my age and Daniel Levy's still there, the problems are still going to be there. We're not picking the right. We ain't got the right chairman. We ain't picking the right managers. Well, and again, when it comes to picking the right managers, it's like, which ones are the right managers? Do you know what I mean? Because we go and get Conte, pragmatic to the T, defensive, wants to play on the counter-attack. And a lot of what Conte did was right in terms of what we needed to do to win. But then when you've got Eric Dyer, Ben Davies and Romero as a back three, you're still conceding goals. I ain't surprised that he's had enough. You got Martin Yole, had Berbatov and Robbie Keane up front. The best two up front since Cole and York. Facts. But then when you're going behind them and you've got Timo Tainio, Zakora, Genius, Kabul. Good players, but it doesn't complement the forwards that we had. You had Harry Kane, Son, Dele Alli, Ericsson, all these guys. That 11 was perfect for Pochettino. But when you look on the bench, if one of them ain't cutting the mustard, who's coming on? Nkudu, Njai, Janssen. Do you know what I mean? Dembele's coming off for some strange people. Vertonghen's injured. Kevin Wimmer. Like, what are we doing? It's obviously purposeful. That's like Daniel Levy's an Arsenal fan. What it is for me is like I keep saying. I look at Tottenham like if I met a woman right now and in 3 years' time, she's consistently driving me mad. She's consistently stressing me out. She's consistently blaming me for stuff that is her own fault. She can't cook. But she's intimately brilliant. Now I've got to weigh up the options, innit? Intimately on top, but everything else is the disaster. Am I gonna sit? Am I gonna stay with this woman till I'm 60? No, I don't even want to stay with her till Tuesday. Why? Because the intimate side is all great, but apart from that, you do my nutting. That's what Tottenham are like. So the intimacy is the attacking football. We keep going, we go forward. That part of it, I can't lie, I love it. But then everything else is just a chaos. So why am I committing the same energy to this woman, which is called Tottenham Hotspur? When I look at Ange and the way he likes to attack, I just wish he was our attacking coach. And we had a defensive coach and a midfield coach. And then them three come to the head coach that actually has a brain and goes, right, I'm going to get that bit, assemble it together, and then we'll probably win stuff. But I ain't got no confidence in Ange. I don't think that Ange goes to another club of Tottenham's ilk or above and succeeds. Because I think even if he went to Man City and Man City give him a war chest, you'd understand that Man City are just gung-ho, and as much as they might score 4, they'll allow you to score 5. You know, are Man City looking at that and thinking, we'll have Ange with Pep gone? I don't think so. Because even Pep, even Klopp, Ferguson, Wenger, they needed a balance. That's why you look at Wenger. Everyone talks about Wenger having a beautiful football. He still had Steve Bold. He still had Martin Keown. Them guys weren't brilliant footballers in terms of going forward and keeping the ball, but they made sure that while your Henrys and your Wiltords and your Bergkamps and all these guys, rest assured. Look at Man United. Man United had, York, Cole, Beckham, Scholes, Giggsy, all these guys. But you had a Jaap Stam, a Vidic, Rio Ferdinand, Dennis Irwin. Man City, they've had Lescott, Company, Diaz, all these guys, rough and tumble, while you had your Agueros and your De Bruynes. Chelsea, Drogba, all these guys kicking it off. Lampard. But then you still had John Terry, Carvalho. But Tottenham never seemed to get that balance. The only time we've ever had that balance in terms of a first team is under Pochettino. But then what happens? Of course, we get let down by squad depth. We're always getting let down by something, and who do we get let down by? The skit up top, Daniel Levy. So I'm going to keep saying it, that I'm going to do these videos, but this time the energy's different. My kids will tell you, we're scoring goals and I'm not celebrating. And they're like, why? I said, because what's the point? We take leads or we equalise. What's the point? And then if we do score a goal, we're 5-1 down. I'm not doing it anymore. So I wouldn't be surprised by this time next week if my son supports Barcelona. And I'll just keep doing these videos because I don't see anything changing unless Daniel Levy goes, which I've been saying since Martin Jol. So I don't know how long that is now. What is the point? I'd say this to all you people out there before I go. Have a little think. If you've got a friend, that's been with their partner for 15 years and keeps moaning about him, you'd get to the point where you just think there's no point giving him any more advice. Why? Because it's obvious that the partner isn't changing and it's obvious that the person's put up with it. So with me, I've just put up with my partner, which is Tottenham. I've put up with the fact that this is who we are. This is what we're going to do. And we're not going to win stuff. And that's how it is. Everyone's jumping around because we got into the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. Who we got? I'll rest my case. Like, share, subscribe, all of that. Only Fools and Horses pending after Christmas. I hope you have a brilliant Christmas. If I don't jump on before, Happy New Year, all of that. I'm going to go and have a couple of beers. It's my mum's birthday, so she's going to be here in due course. And I'm going to walk around with a smile on my face, even though we conceded 6. Love, people.